I love this diet, and I want to learn from more other people doing it, and not many people are doing it, and the ones that are just seem kind of shallow, like they're doing it for strength only and not really health. So, like I said, post them down below if you got them. Channels that are just into health, but doing it this way instead. It's nice to watch people that are like living like you.
So apparently I didn't press the record button, or something happened, because I just talked for like 15 minutes and then I went to go put it on my computer and it didn't show up. And I just talked for so long. Now I gotta do it all over again. But hey, what's up guys? I just watched Vegetable Police's video, and he was kind of expressing this desire to have people who are doing a carnivore diet expose themselves. That's not the right word. For people that are doing a carnivore diet, or for anybody who has a link to someone who's doing a carnivore diet and talking about it on YouTube, he wanted them to post in the comments on that video, and so I did. And then I also wanted to just talk about why I'm basically eating a carnivore diet today, because I feel like it's a pretty important topic and it's actually been pretty beneficial for me in my life. And so yeah, I want to get into why I'm doing it and the benefits. And yeah, so about 3 years ago I got a concussion that changed my life, and the symptoms were so bad and I was so sensitive to everything. And just for some background information, I grew up playing tons and tons of sports. I played soccer for a lot of time. I played football, played basketball, played baseball. I played everything basically. And so I played football for a while, and I'm pretty sure that I got mini concussions that never were official concussions. But then I went into college, starting in about 2012, and over the next 2 years I got some more concussions and had some issues with those, but nothing too severe, except in 2014 I got a concussion right here. I got hit in the face with a basketball as I was chasing a dude on defense, and then looked, and then the ball got passed to him, but I was there, not him, and it hit me right in the face, and I wasn't expecting it. And after that moment I started to really get a lot of depersonalization and derealization. And so I left school for like a quarter and really was struggling. But eventually I went back to school, and I don't necessarily feel a lot of the depersonalization these days, but I feel a lot of derealization still. So that's something that I'm still struggling with. But so I went back to school, and then 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago, I was in my last quarter or two of school, and I got another concussion where I barely tapped the back of my head on a hardwood floor. And the way that I got the concussion is I was basically laying on my back on the floor, and me and my friend Chris always like to act goofy, or sometimes we like to act goofy, and sometimes we like to act like we're possessed by like an alien spirit. And so for some reason we were both laying on the ground, and then we both just started like doing some weird stuff. But then I just like tapped the back of my head on the hardwood floor, not even that hard. And then the next day, or even that night, I just started to get the worst symptoms, like the craziest symptoms that you could ever imagine. You wouldn't even imagine that you could have these symptoms, because it just feels so debilitating. And so the symptoms, number one was like sound sensitivity, light sensitivity, just sensitivity to everything, not being able to tolerate any stimulation. More symptoms were spatial awareness, a complete lack of spatial awareness. And so like I'd reach out to grab something, and my hand, like say something is right here, I'd reach out and think that I'm reaching for it, and I reach right here. And it's like that with everything, like where I step, where I move, like everything is off. And so I'm bumping into things, and I can't even move around without feeling like I'm just can't do it. So it's very, very debilitating. And then just a lot of pain throughout my whole body, and tension and tightness. And then these sensations in my limbs, like my hands, my feet, and even my head, that just everything is cut off. Like my hand is right here, but sometimes it feels or would feel like I'm not occupying it fully, and the same with my feet. And so it would feel like I'm walking around on like stilts because it just doesn't feel like I'm in my foot. Like it doesn't feel right. And it happens with my head too. Like my head will just feel like it's not, like I'm not in my head, which it's really hard to explain. And it's a really disturbing sensation. And so there's all these symptoms. And also my eye movements got distorted, or my saccades, as neurologists would say, like my eye movements. So if I was falling like this, my eyes wouldn't be able to go smoothly like this. They would go like this and then jump. And so it makes it really hard to, like my eye movements would become slower too. So it becomes hard to just see things and read and focus and look at things. And it just always feels like you're kind of tripping out, and like your brain isn't doing and your eyes aren't doing what they're supposed to do. And so it's just uncomfortable like all the time. And so these are like the symptoms that I started to experience. And so I thought, at first I was like, okay, I probably got a concussion, but then I got my B12 levels checked because I was vegan at the time, and then my B12 levels were really, really low, and I got freaked out because I started watching videos of the potential symptoms you could have from B12 deficiency, and I was feeling symptoms that were making me feel like I was becoming crippled and disabled. Like it felt like I had some really bad disease, and I felt like my whole body was just, and brain was deteriorating, and my nerves were just so like really, really not good stuff that you would never even imagine being able to feel or not experience or not feel without having these symptoms, obviously. And so I thought it was B12, and I got injections and raised my levels up, but it wasn't. And so then I went back to the theory that it was concussion, and then I had to leave school and went and basically was on the couch in pure silence at my parents' house for like a year. I was eating a higher carb diet at that time. I felt the best eating raw, like fruit based, but even then I would still have a lot of symptoms, and it depended on the ripeness of the fruit. Like even if I would let them ripen, if they weren't sweet enough when they were ripened, I would feel bad. And my theory was that my gut was just filled with bad microbes and imbalanced. And I got my gut checked, and eventually like I realized like through the tests that my microbiome is jacked up, and that is what's causing, sorry I'm like stumbling a little bit, but that's what's causing this inflammation to go throughout my whole body, and especially my brain in the specific areas of my concussions. And so I realized that I need to heal my gut, and so I started doing a lot of detoxing. I switched to like a higher fat but still vegan diet, and like I started to feel better on the high fat diet, which was like very helpful, and it was like it was so relieving. But I would still have a lot of symptoms. And then I did a lot of detoxing, and you can watch some of my videos of the stuff that came out of me because it was kind of scary. Like a lot of crazy looking mucus biofilm stuff came out of me, and I was doing a lot of herbs and stuff, and I felt like I was tripping out like on drugs because of this like die-off reaction, or this chemical load being just released into my bloodstream and into my brain. Like I did all this detoxing, and then eventually I decided that I wanted to go back to school, and so now I'm 2 quarters back into school, and I'll be graduating this spring, which is like amazing. But it's like I still have a lot of issues, and when I came back fall quarter this last fall, I knew that, or this was when Vegetable Police was experimenting with the carnivore diet, or the no longer vegan, like the big drama when he switched to not being vegan anymore. And that's what kind of, it made me like really start to explore the idea of not being vegan anymore in my mind. And I knew that I would have less symptoms by doing carnivore, just from what I had learned, and knowing that certain carbohydrates cause me a lot of symptoms, brain and like my body and emotionally and everything. And so I knew that cutting out carbs in general, but especially even fiber, like that would reduce so many symptoms. And so I experimented with it, and I felt a huge reduction of symptoms. And like, it was like, it's crazy. Like my whole body just started to feel more relaxed and free and loose, and like a child, like how your body should just not feel inflamed and just free moving. And like, it was great. And another main benefit that I've noticed, or that I noticed at first, is that my mind was just way more calmer. I would have less thoughts just in general. Like my mind was quieter. Like if I'm walking down the street, it's just like I'm walking down the street. I'm not like thinking about other things. And if I am thinking about something, I can realize, oh, I'm thinking. Do I need to think? Oh, no? Okay, then I just stop thinking. And so like the mental aspect of it is definitely huge. And that's one of the main reasons why I continue to eat similar to a carnivore diet right now. And so what I'm eating right now is basically mostly carnivore with some fruits that are kind of SCD, low FODMAP approved fruits. I'm not really eating any vegetables. I'm planning on doing some vegetable juices just to get the minerals and vitamins and electrolytes and things like that. But I feel clearer and better without any vegetables, which is like, that just shows how messed up my gut is. Like I know that that's not a good thing. And like I need to heal that eventually, but it's really hard to heal that because it requires a lot of detoxing, and my brain needs to work decently right now for me to get through school and to get through. I'm on the volleyball team, and I'm not really playing right now because I hurt my shoulder, or my shoulder is kind of messed up. But it's like, in order for me to even think about surviving and getting through school, I need to have some sort of clarity and happiness and lack of symptoms. And so I'm kind of postponing any more detoxification until I can have a time where I can afford it. But so yeah, I'm basically just really focusing on what I'm eating and trying to reduce symptoms like that from my concussions mostly. And eating a carnivore style diet has helped so much. I'm still experimenting with salt. I feel like salt doesn't help me sometimes, and that's why I tend to add in more carbs eventually, just so I don't have to, just so my body can store electrolytes a little bit better. And I do notice, like when I don't eat carbs and then I do eat carbs, it's like a crazy energy boost, which is good. But if I eat the wrong types of carbs, then I'll get certain symptoms. And even in general, when I eat more carbs, my whole body just feels more inflamed, which reminds me of something that I mentioned when I recorded this video earlier. And I only have 48 seconds, so maybe I won't mention it, but like apparently inflammation needs water. And if you're eating less carbs, you retain less water, and so you'll have less inflammation. And I'm like stuttering, but that's not really a concussion symptom. I'm just weird. But yeah, so I just wanted to explain and give some background information as to why I'm eating a carnivore diet, similar to Vegetable Police, not eating any raw, but yeah, basically for my concussion symptoms, and it helps a lot. And there's other benefits, and I'll talk about them in other videos. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this, check out the links in the description, and yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.